Hey everybody. So before we get started in this video, I just want to apologize for not streaming last night. I was at an award ceremony for my sister, and it ended up going a lot later than I thought it was going to. And by the time I got home, I had already missed the first period, and rather than starting up a stream late, in doing that, I just went to Hot Take Hockey stream and talked to some people there and watched that one. So I'm sorry that I didn't get to stream last night. I planned on it, but it didn't end up happening. So hopefully, I certainly will be streaming again this series. Definitely will not be Game 3 because Saturday is my sister's high school graduation. So I will probably not even get to see much of that game, if any of it. And I certainly won't be streaming Saturday. But later in the series, once we get towards Game 4 or Game 5, I certainly will be streaming again. So I hope to see you guys there. But right now, I want to talk about Tuukka Rask a little bit here, because for those of you that have followed this channel for a while now, know that I have never been a huge Tuukka Rask fan. And as a Bruins fan, he was always a guy that I kind of like to bash on and was never a huge fan of. Something just, even in the Toronto series earlier in these playoffs, there were times where I was very, upset with Rask and some of the goals that he gave up, and I was bashing him in that series at times on live streams if you were here watching. But something, in this, it's been like this for years. I've been watching Tuukka Rask for years now as the Bruins goaltender, and just something always seemed to be missing with him. Like, Tuukka Rask was always a very good goaltender, but something was missing. That it factor, that clutch, desire to win it factor that separates the very good goaltenders from the elite goaltenders just never seemed to be there with Tuukka Rask. He was a guy that, if the team in front of him played well, he played very well. But if the team in front of him wasn't having a great night, he wouldn't be able to steal a game. He was a guy who kind of went with the team, and then when the team fell off, he fell off. And I think we saw that in the 2 years that the Bruins didn't make the playoffs, before they made it again in 2017 against Ottawa. But those 2 years before, when they didn't make the playoffs, Rask wasn't that good. And he kind of went up and down with the team. And there was just that something was missing there where he just could not get that big, huge, timely save that the team absolutely needed, or he'd give up a really bad soft goal at the worst time, and he couldn't steal a game. And there was just always something wrong with Tuukka Rask, something that stopped him from going from a very good goaltender that a lot of teams would like to have, but not that elite Stanley Cup championship level goaltender that a lot of Bruins fans wanted him to be. And some people thought he was, some people, figured he wasn't. But in my mind, there was just always something missing. And I know I was not the only one thinking that. There were plenty of people here in the Boston media, plenty of fans of the Bruins around here who were very, I don't know the exact word I'm looking for, but they were not huge Tuukka Rask fans. They agreed basically with what I was saying, and that something was missing and he wasn't that championship level goaltender. Other people were huge Tuukka Rask fans and blamed everything on the team in front of him or the coaching, or nothing was Rask's fault. The truth was probably somewhere in the middle, but this postseason, you can throw all of that out the window, because Tuukka Rask has 100% made me a believer in him in this postseason. He has been absolutely outstanding for the Boston Bruins. And all those things that I was just talking about him not being clutch, not having the it factor, not making the big save, giving up the soft goal, he has thrown all of that out the window in these playoffs. He has been absolutely outstanding. It wasn't the best start, certainly, in that Toronto series, but he got better as the series went along, and the team got better as the series went along. And since that, the second and third round, he has been absolutely lights out. This is the Tuukka Rask that I think most Bruins fans had been hoping for a long time now, for years now. This is what we wanted Tuukka Rask to look like. And I don't know what changed or what happened, but whatever happened, he has put it all together at the perfect time. And he is playing incredible hockey right now. And I know the Bruins lost last night, but it certainly wasn't Rask's fault. And when you look at his numbers in these playoffs, they are absolutely outstanding. 13 wins in 19 games started, 191 goals against average, sub 2 goals against average in the playoffs, and a save percentage of .939. So almost 94% of the shots against him are being stopped. These are ridiculous numbers for a goaltender, and Rask is just, this is a whole other level that I have never seen him reach before. Regardless of whether the Bruins win this Stanley Cup or not, obviously it's a 1-1 series. It could easily go either way. Tuukka Rask has played at a championship Stanley Cup level in these playoffs. He has been absolutely incredible, and he has made me a believer. I really think that my days of being a Tuukka Rask basher are over after these playoffs, after this postseason. He's proven that he can do it and he can play at that level. He is an elite goaltender if he, really puts everything together. Now, consistency, obviously this is just one playoff run. He's not going to play at this level for the rest of his career, I don't think. Consistency is sometimes an issue with Rask, but Rask has finally proven at 32 years old and after years of being a Bruins goaltender that he can play at this level. He can play at the same level as a Braden Holtby, as a Pekka Rinne, as a Marc-Andre Fleury, or any of the other top-level outstanding NHL goaltenders in the league. Rask has played that way this entire postseason. And he has moved himself up into that upper group as far as I'm concerned. Now, I'd love to see him do it for more than just one playoff run. I think that's what, there's a difference between guys who consistently play at this level and then guys who maybe can put a stretch together where they play like this and then they go back down. I'd like to see Rask play maybe not at this level, because this is truly an insane level that nobody could ever keep up for any long length of time. A playoff run is one thing. Doing this for a full 82 game season or multiple seasons is borderline impossible. That's not the expectation here. The expectation is that he stays locked in, making great saves when the team needs him to, not giving up the soft goal. Or if he does give up a soft goal from time to time, which does happen to every goaltender in hockey, he makes up for it with a huge save. That's what he's doing right now. If he can continue to do that, then he can prove that he does belong in that elite level of goaltender in the NHL, which I have not had him in up until this postseason. But he is really making me a believer. I have been thoroughly impressed and absolutely shocked by how great he has played this postseason. And all you have to do is you look up the statistics and the numbers are there. And just watch the games. If you watch the games, you realize, especially if you're someone who has watched him in the past versus watching him now, there is a major, major difference in the way that he plays, that he's playing right now. He just looks so much more confident, so much more sure of what he's doing. And when somebody's coming in on a breakaway or somebody gets the cross-ice pass that you think is going to be a guaranteed goal, I look at those plays now and I go, Rask might stop that. And a lot of times in this postseason, he has stopped it. And never before. Usually those were, that's in. We can't get the big save out of Tuukka. He only gave up 2 goals tonight, or 3 goals tonight, but you couldn't get the big save when you needed it the most. Now you are getting that big save. He's making the spectacular save. He's not giving up these fluky, dumb goals that shouldn't be going in. He's not doing that nearly as often. And he's really putting it all together. He is playing the best hockey I have ever seen him play. And I hope that it continues for the rest of this series. And I hope that he can continue to prove that he can be this kind of goaltender for the next few years. In goal for Boston, because he's changed my mind on him, that's for sure. I was always a guy who was never a big Tuukka fan, and now after what he's done in these playoffs, he is just he's been remarkable, and he has made me a believer in Tuukka Rask. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Remember, we're on the road to 1,000 subs, so please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.